Hello, everyone. My name is Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and this is the Black Link Experience. I'm so excited to welcome Ms. Tecoya Harris to Black Link. Welcome, Tecoya.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I wanted to just, first of all, before we even get started, I want to celebrate you and just say kudos to you for everything that you have accomplished, in your life thus far. And you have so many more, hurdles to cross and so many more opportunities that'll come your way. So we do wish you luck on everything that you do in the future as well.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Women of color, we celebrate each other. We have to celebrate each other. And so I'm just so proud to read your bio and like, oh my gosh. So let's talk about it. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so again, my name is Nikoi Harris. I am actually originally from Chicago, Illinois, but currently living in Los Angeles with my husband and my son. And I am an actor. And also, people don't notice, but I'm also playing events. So now that we're here in the virtual space, I've been doing some more virtual events for a nonprofit. So I've been very excited about that. But yeah, my love and passion right now is acting with the little side boo for dance.
Yes, because you were cheerleader, right? Right.
I was an NFL cheerleader, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about all of that because we just want the people to know who you are. We can't wait to have a feature article in the magazine about everything that you do. So let's first talk about your interest in dance and cheer and how you got into doing that in the beginning.
Yeah. So I started dancing when I was about 3. My parents probably were like, let's put her in this because she don't sit down. I started dancing when I was 3, and then about 7th grade, I started doing competitive cheerleading. So like all-star teams where we would have like a travel team that would compete, and then got to high school and did co-ed. I got to college and shifted course because what movie came out before that, Drumline.
Yes.
So, dance for the band, then what do you do at an HBCU? So I went to Howard University and joined the Ooh La La dancers, which are the dancers for the band. And that's, I think, is where a lot of things shifted, because my advisor was a former Washington Redskins cheerleader, and was a cheerleader for a while. We also have some women who had danced for the band that were like, they were on the Bullets, but now it's Washington Wizards. So like, both teams now have different names. So I had no idea, honestly. I was experienced through that. So growing up in Chicago, the Bears don't have cheerleaders or dancers. And only about 4 NFL teams don't, 4 to 5 teams don't have them. So I wasn't used to seeing them because that, and my mom likes Green Bay Packers and they don't have them either.
Right.
I know. It's like, I know Laker girls and I know the Lovables.
Yes.
This NFL life is. So about shortly after I graduated from Howard, my advisor was like, oh, you should audition for Redskins. Like, I had no idea what that is supposed to look like. And you could tell that I had no idea what that was supposed to look like, because I showed up and I had like a hip hop background and my dancing background. And I remember what I wore like exactly, because I was like, well, for college, we wore black sports bra and like biker shorts. And I get there, and when I say I never saw black stand out more than it did on that day, 100% not what anybody had on.
Oh gosh.
Everybody's outfits like bedazzled, and the shorts were like way shorter than what I had on. And like if you ever seen an NFL cheerleader outfit, it was like everybody had some glammed version of that.
Yeah.
And I came and I was like, oh, we're my hair straight. But then by the end of the day, my hair was like throwing.
Right.
His hair is just like blowing in the wind. I'm like, what is, and lashes, and I have people coming to me like, you don't have enough makeup on. And I'm like, what is going on? So luckily, dance ability, thank you, took me through, and actually made it literally as an alternate at first, just because they were like, we need to get like glammed. And I was like, Okay, I have no idea.
Right?
I'm like, but I'm on the team, right? So
That's all that matters.
like, I'm confused. So do I come to practice or no? So I was there and I made it in 2009 as a rookie. And I'm not gonna lie, if you went from like my rookie year to the end, yes, my looks changed. I mean, even now in LA, which honestly in LA, what I used to look like probably fits even more so than my natural hair. But I mean, no, by the time my fourth and last year, so I was the co-captain my fourth and last year, and also got selected by the team to go to Pro Bowl and represent the team.
Wow.
But I had like 20-inch long hair. Like, I mean, it was just like I went from like the alternate to one of the like lead black. Right. So it was like, she's in leadership, she's representing a Pro Bowl, like my fitness was up there. Yeah, and I mean, it was a great experience in the terms of the exposure. I think I never out of the country before. I was an NFL cheerleader. So I spent about 10 to 12 days in Afghanistan, visiting our troops. And I think that was probably the most rewarding time. That was my second year, just because it was like to meet so many soldiers who were fresh out of high school. Yeah. And at that time, this is 2010, so we were in active like war. Like this isn't. My parents were almost confused as to why I thought that was a good opportunity. I'm confused. You think this is? You think it was great to be selected?
That's funny.
Do you know we're in war? And I'm like, but this is. Why would I go to Afghanistan? We went and we performed for the troops, and we stayed on different bases, and it was real. It was everything. Like we had to get had bodyguards, like armed guards that slept in the room with us, because it was we almost lived like exactly how female soldiers would live. And to be there, to leave, like we would leave cosmetics or fragrant Dove soaps because they get the basic.
Right.
You know, you go to a store now and it's like, you get shea moisture and like pomegranate this, and they don't send that overseas.
Right.
We're leaving all of our things there. Like, right. Just like, we'll leave it all, like leave everything. And then we just stocked up on like, what you would think is like regular Dove, but that's it. That's all that they have. And you're like, wait, you ain't had that pomegranate one? It came out. Or nail polish. Like we left everything that we like.
Awesome.
Left everything there, and I'm doing that. Djibouti, Africa. Spent days there. That's the only place in Africa that we have a U.S. military base. So was able to go there, perform in a Hong Kong parade. Shanghai, China, and I think. And then of course we have our calendar shoots, whether it be in like Dominican Republic or some type of island situation. So it was definitely rewarding on the accounts. And then, you know, being a girl from South Side of Chicago, I just never performed for that many people. Like, and that was my first, I'd never been to an NFL game. So my first NFL game, I'm like running out of this tunnel into 90,000 people. And I'm like, this is different, because usually, you know, you go to an NFL game and you sit, crowd.
Yeah, right.
Never done that. So the first time it's like, and I was almost trying to like not to look at myself on the jump screen.
Yeah.
Selected me to be in the intro video. I'm like, intro video? So then I'm like looking at myself. Having all those experiences, even having friends, to be perfectly honest, of different backgrounds, ethnicities, that was all new for me. I went to all Black schools growing up, and then I went to HBCU. So clearly, majority of my friends were Black. And I was so used to being the majority, right? And I think this was a time where it was like, not only was I the minority, I was reminded like I'm darker skinned, because like even though it was so like grand on so many different levels of exposure and experiences, it was still very eye-opening.
I get that, yes.
First made the teams, half of the Black women on the team were mixed. And I was just like,
so they're light-skinned, so
yeah, and lighter eyes, and
yes,
everybody, and natural curly, like, and big curly hair. And like, And then I'm like, man, it's like me and one other girl that's dark skinned. Granted, now it's different, and I celebrate now the diversity
Yeah.
that lives on these teams, with whether that be letting Black women wear their natural hair, locks, braids.
Love it. I'm loving it.
And I think that's really what I've been pushing, because I still have I have an Instagram page. It's called Black Girls Cheer and Black Girls Reign.
I followed.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That highlight Black women in these spaces, because I just remember I was like, I had no idea what to do for an NFL audition. And that is, I'm humbled to be able to connect women to be like, what team do you want to audition for? Okay, let me connect you with somebody who's actually on the team right now. Or Black women in pageantry, because when I competed in pageants, I had never done that. And then it was my last year to compete. And when I got there, it was like, you should do Miss USA. And I'm like, I've aged out, but thank you so much. This was great. So, but it was like other women who were doing it and had been doing it, like, especially I think my sister came from Texas. She had been in pageants since she was like 8. And at that point, it had paid for everything for college.
Oh.
And I'm confused, because I was like, wait, you want money? And like, well, most of these things are scholarships. And I was like, well, I watched Miss America this whole time. I had no idea of, like, that was the only pageant that I really watched growing up.
Yeah, me too.
There's so many though. And a lot of them are scholarship based and provide sponsorships and connections and exposure and marketing. So it's really been humbling for the past, I think, 7 years at this point, to be able to connect Black women to other resources and to other people. So
yeah, kudos for graduating from Howard University. Hey. Let's kind of turn the tables to acting, because
yes,
I want to hear about that. And what you did the pageants, you did the cheer, the cheer thing, but then here's the acting thing. What inspired you to be an actor, or who inspires you, and how did you start that journey?
Yeah, thank you for that. Honestly, I think I've wanted to be an actor for a very long time, and I didn't know it. In my high school, we always did musicals every year. And I took drama in high school. I took film study in high school like twice. It's like, can I take this elective 2 times? Like, I mean, you don't get a credit again, you get the grade. Okay, that's fine. So I was taking drama and film study, and those were in creative writing, and those 3 things were literally classes I took twice because I loved them that much. And I didn't realize it at first, because, to be honest, everybody has always pushed me to dance. So I tried to do all the dance things. Yeah. You dance. When Debbie Allen brought back Fame, I did that. Then I was kindly reminded that, Tecoya, you could do a choir, but not quite Beyonce solo. So that's, or in school when they're like, lead dancer, Tecoya, the ensemble. You didn't get Dorothy, but you the head of the tornado. And I'm like, and I think, and then even with Redskins, I was interested, but we had a different contract back then where you couldn't share your last name publicly. So we didn't have like open social media. Right. Everything was closed, which made sense at the time, just because of whatever super fans are making sure to protect us and not have information out. So we also couldn't represent brands. So I couldn't do a Adidas commercial if we're represented by Nike. So a conflict there too. So I was just like, okay, I didn't even really explore it. And it wasn't until I decided, okay, this is my last year. Yeah. For Cheerleader. I'm gonna take an acting class. And I took my first one in DC in 2012. I was like, this was nice. And then I got here, and I moved here because my husband's got his doctorate at UCLA. But we moved here in 2015, and that's when I really, we moved from New York, and I was like, I didn't get to audition for things in New York, but I really want to take class and do that here. Yeah. I've just been excited. I really love storytelling.
Yes.
I honestly didn't even know until this feature film of how much I even love the other side of the camera, like the production.
Right.
or how I should say my events and operation background fit naturally into that as well. I think now I don't even know if it's necessarily actors, because of course I can name powerful actors. Let's see. Ajane Ellis, which is who plays the mom on King Richard, or the Clark sisters.
Yes.
Every performance, don't get me wrong, Viola Davis.
Oh my God, my heart. She's my
heart. Don't get me wrong. I can name, we can do that.
Oh yeah.
I just watched King Richard. I said, she sells me every time she's a mom. I have yet to not be sold. Like, I'm wrapped in, or excuse me, even the performances, I feel like I now get more so attached to shows. Yeah. Like, I love to do shows like This Is Us. But I get very wrapped into being able to make others feel something or evoke emotion. And I think that's the part of acting that I really love. Like, for you to really sit there and just, for that moment of time, just get lost.
Yes, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, like, or at the end, because a lot of movies, right, at the end, is for you to feel hope.
Yes.
If they did it, then I can do it. And if she ran a marathon, I can run a marathon. Like, it's just supposed to help you feel energized and ready to go, or it's supposed to make you sad and reflect on what's happening, or it's supposed to give you holiday feels.
Right.
Like, I just love the objective of film and television, and the art of being able to get lost or transformed in that moment. And I think that is really what makes acting exciting for me, or even watching television, which I'm sure my husband's like, if you watch one more show, like, it's hard. But, and I think at the same time, it makes sometimes hard on myself, because, I'm realizing more and more as I'm getting older that I have to battle with the perfectionism, or if you're Black and dark skin, you work twice as hard, and
oh my gosh,
this and I feel like putting that pressure on myself. I had to, in recent, especially coming with this pandemic, of being able to just kind of relieve that a bit. And no, it's okay to kind of just have fun with it though.
Yeah.
Be okay. Yeah. Because with acting, it's a lot of rejection. That's what it is for me. It's just really the storytelling, the transformation that characters get to.
How do you handle that rejection? Because it's a lot.
One, faith, because
absolutely,
I'm not gonna lie. It's been several times that I've said, Jesus, are you sure you want me to do this? Like, if you just want me to work a nonprofit, just say that. And then here I go. I promise you, I kid you not, every day I think about, I'm just gonna focus and work full time. I'll get an audition.
Right.
All right. Okay, I'll do it. But I mean, help me. But so I think it's really the faith aspect of it. For me, that's probably the biggest component. And then, it's the joy.
You have to like it.
I'm good. I'm good at work. Like, literally, I do my job well. I have worked for the same large education nonprofit for 7 years. I have gotten great reviews because I know how to do operations. Like, that is literally my go-to. My operational gifts. I know what I can do. What do you need me to bring this together? Do you need me to organize this? You need schedules? I know that.
Right.
I know there's things I do well, but I know there's things that actually bring me life, that I thrive from. Set doing nothing. And I'm just watching it, and I get joy from just watching everybody else. Like, Monday set, and I spent hours before they even got to me, and my part was 15 minutes. Man, hours watching everybody else.
I would too. We are so the same. Me too.
I was just like this, taking it in, and and I was just absorbed. I was like, wow, he's so loose with he just delivered it. He's so quick with it. I'm just looking at everybody else. So it's still the joy for me in that. And then I last year, and now I feel even more pushed. I think both my husband and myself, of showing our son to really go after the different things. And it was different for me because I saw my mom sacrificed so many things she wanted to do to stay with us, so that my dad, if he had, because he had to work late and then he has to do weekends, it's like very untraditional hours. And she literally left jobs that loved, like you could just tell, like she had so many friends and she was just dazzling, but the hours didn't work out, so she had to go. And now, I don't know, I feel like she gets excited. I try to bring my mom on every trip. So I take my mom to states she's never been to. I'm like, Mom, I have to host a pageant in Atlanta. I'm hosting a pageant in Phoenix. I got to host. She's like, yeah.
Yes.
Where I have I was in the Miami Web Festival. 18. I was like, Mom, it's in Miami. You want to come? Yeah. It's been good to be able to even take my mom along. Or see that, and I think she gets excited. I know my dad's excited. I feel like I'm always a person who's definitely a dad's girl who's trying to impress my dad. Since I was little, I know that's a fact. But my dad and my mom are just different. Well, my dad, he has an idea and he probably did it already.
Right.
He's just telling you, just fill you in.
Yeah.
Where I don't always feel like as women, everybody gets that opportunity. And sometimes it's challenging for me as a mom.
Yeah.
A feature film showing. We have the Chinese theater showing this weekend, and I'm sitting here trying to find a babysitter. It's still a real thing.
I liked in your bio where you said you believe that all things are possible through Christ. All things are possible. That if we believe spiritually, have our faith, whoever yours is, it's the Lord Jesus Christ for me. But if we believe and have faith, and then we put the action behind it, I believe that unlike you, we can do anything that we want to do. Let's talk about making sacrifices as a mother. Let me just stop right there, because I'll go too deep in the question. Your sacrifices as a mother, do you feel sometimes that you're taking away from your child the time that you spend with your child? Or do you believe that I'm doing this for my child? Or is it both? How do you juggle that?
Yeah. It's hard. I'm not going to, as of right now, I haven't had anything that has taken me away from him for too extended a period of a longer time. I think the longest I've been away is 48 hours, and that was just for a month.
Not bad.
So I'm like, I think it is different because when he was born, it was July last year, so it was fresh pandemic and everything was closed.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the things, when I see like other actors and they have to go away for 3 months or 4 months, it looks different because for his first year of life, people were barely auditioning.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Could that look different though? Let's say once he actually gets older to remember as well, because right now he's in a state.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought you was arrested for a really long time. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And that's also because, again, I haven't been away for more than 48 hours really. But I definitely think about it, what it would look like when he gets older and my career is further along. And not just me, but my husband too, but our careers are further along. And we may have to be away for a amount of time. And I still have to trust that. Ooh, shout out to my therapist. Yes, Black Girls Club Therapy.
Right. That's right.
I am one of them. Because I'm often a person who won't put myself first, even before I had a kid. Now, I can see even how I am when I don't really live into like the things that make me happy with my son, and that he can feel it.
Yeah.
So I pray that just like I take my mom, that I'm able to have opportunities and take my son. If I go to, I don't know, they shoot random movies in like New Zealand or whatever the case may be, that, that he's able to visit during those times and I'm able to see him. And these, of course, are just hopes and prayers that I have, just because those things haven't truly come yet. And because now I actually had a job that I traveled. I took 9 trips a year before the pandemic, which would have looked real different.
Yes.
To then travel 9 times out of the year. One of those times being I lived in Houston, Texas for 6 weeks.
Hey, Houston.
And we were already trying to figure out what that would look like for me to live in Houston, Texas for 6 weeks. My husband to be in LA.
Yes.
who gets the baby for 6 weeks? Like literally, and that was a question. But then my job was like, we no longer are traveling. Do the call.
See, God makes a way.
Right. So it's been different. And I literally have been grateful because I feel like there's so many big milestones that happened during this time with him. Really just about to be 17 months. And there's so many things that I was able to see.
Yeah.
What happens when he gets to 4 and up, or if he's a sibling. Like I literally
never know.
Yeah, because right now, me and my husband have the opportunity to both take him to school and both pick him up. I have friends who definitely have moved to Atlanta or moved their family to Atlanta because their show is taping in Atlanta. And I actually have no opposition to Atlanta. So if anybody's watching this in the word, if I'm willing and able, we've talked about it, and I am. So
it's hard to Atlanta if you have
right. I was like, oh, wait, just in case. I am actually might get a bigger house anyway. So you know, it's just different as opposed to like if you're shooting movies and that's 2 months at a time and somewhere else, and then that's your main thing, because then you might look up and have longer breaks.
Yeah.
I'm trusting that those breaks and opportunities will still happen, and grateful that my husband, and I say we as my husband and I have had conversations already of, okay, when breaks happen, you got to fit in like Disneyland. Like you got to go hard with the breaks. Like it could be.
You got to get down through there with the breaks.
You traveled somewhere for 2 weeks, and you have to like figure out the breaks. Don't just say, okay, well, there's breaks. So sleep for a month. So,
I just want to thank you for coming here and sharing what you have going on, what you had going on. What does it look like? What do you have going on? You know, say 2 months, 6 months, anything in the works right now? Or are you just going to continue to audition? What do you have going on?
Yeah. So again, I'm super excited. I've honestly never been to the Chinese theater. So to have, this was my first feature film.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We shot this at this point like 3 years ago, but you know, with the pandemic and everything was, they stopped and didn't want to have, you know, all this stuff in person. I totally understand. So they really just started doing bigger shopping around of it in festivals this year, but it's crazy because of the God's timing. Oh, so amazing that this is the first feature film. I've never shot a feature film before this. This is the second feature film that I'm currently shooting right now, and I'm not the lead in this. So I was like, to be the lead in my very first feature film was wow. And to be able to take on other roles as well. I am listed as an associate producer for the film, as well as script supervisor, production. Like I ended up doing, again, I told you my administrative and operational gifts. Yeah. Show, and I'm like, I didn't realize until I said, I can create this. We need a shot list. We need schedules. Yeah, I can do that. And it was, but then I didn't realize, like, okay, wait, I'm in the scene telling you what scene we're about to do. What scene is this? Well, this is scene 73, take 5. Like, because they're like, oh, wow. That's where we at. And I'm like, okay.
How do you keep up? Oh my God.
Right. No, and I trust me, I it's different now in this feature film when I don't have any of those aspects and just being an actor.
Yeah.
But I now have so much more appreciation for everyone.
Right.
So having that is supposed to be scheduled to stream December 14th. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for my grandparents to see it. For the period, it's definitely different since none of my family lives in LA. But so doing my second feature now, and yeah, I'm gonna just see what happens. I'm still auditioning. I have an audition for a lead role for a film that's going to shoot next year. That's due this week. So yeah, like cross the fingers, say the prayer, the tease, whatever you got to do fast, whatever you feel in your body. But yeah, so I'm still pushing to do that, as well as I still have my dream and goal of doing primetime television. Like that's still a big dream and goal of mine. And, you know, I have several friends right now who get co-stars and guest stars on a lot of prime networks quality TV. And I'm just, all right, Lord, I see what you're doing for others.
It's gonna be your turn.
I'm like, so I'm being patient, and I'm also understanding that regardless of my like actual age, A, my TV age is different, and B, I still get to come into so many of these things with fresh eyes, right? Like I'm literally like to say that I'm still riding the coast of my first feature film.
Yeah.
All this is happening from one feature film where I did one web series, and I looked up and got Best Actress at Miami's Web Fest. And I'm like, I didn't even know there were festivals for web series. Okay. So I've just been very excited, and I feel like recently been sitting in what is happening and what the things that I've been attached to and how they have went and the people I've been connected to from it. So that's what's next. I'm going to continue to keep pushing. I'm going to continue to keep auditioning. I am going to be excited to have anything with my face in it stream. That's seems crazy to me, but yeah, so having that stream, and then there hopefully the second feature film that I'm in. Of course, it's all a shop around process of seeing who picks it up and where it gets distributed. So we'll see, and I'll definitely keep you posted if we look up.
Post it, please. Keep me.
Yeah, because I'm playing something totally different. It's almost like dodgeball, but for hockey. And if you remember, did you ever see Pitch Perfect?
I did not.
Oh man, it's a movie. It's not just 3 of them, but in like Pitch Perfect,
I gotta go watch Pitch Perfect.
Any of those things, they have like a host co-host situation. And
right.
Mine's that ridiculous co-host host situation, and that's for me because I usually play more drama.
Okay.
And Flint Tale that's coming up. I like cry a lot.
Oh really? How do you make yourself cry?
Always crying out here. I watched that movie again. I was like, oh, man, I was crying.
Just a cry.
I wasn't tired. You're not tired.
Is it hard to make yourself cry?
It depends. It used to be.
Yeah.
It did. Because I think it was because I was trying to, instead of just thinking about the associated emotion or feeling with it.
Yes.
Like, really letting, like, if somebody's like going in, letting me have it, like if that really happened to me for real, yeah, I'm an actor. I'm an entertainer. I'm sensitive. You know, it's like type of thing. So I think I've been better at letting it affect me.
Yeah.
Then also with therapy, better at letting it go. Because there's so many people, right? Actors who get into these roles and they pick up the habits of the character, or they pick up the things and they can't release it because they've done it. It's been ingrained in it for a good amount of time. And I think
heard that before. Yeah.
For me, it had to be the balance of, okay, I'm super emotional right now. I'm super raw. Like, please don't ask me. Like, you touch me, I don't know what's. But like being able to be okay, but now I'm wrapped. Mm-hmm. My family or something like, and I'm checking for the day because it's different. So I remember working with Hawthorne James. I mean, it's Big Red from 5 Heartbeats. Like, I was just in there going, y'all, this is Big Red from 5 Heartbeats. Are we for real? What's happening? And we had a scene where literally do the sound. I had to cry in it and do the sound and all these other issues. We shot it like 9 times. Wow. So I keep resetting my face.
And have to cry again.
And to cry again at the and it was like, I remember getting to like the 9th time, and I was getting so exhausted of crying that I like felt bad. I like went off. Like I was just like, oh my God, just get the sound together. Right. Like, what is going on? I'm like, you know how exhausting this is?
Yes.
I'm like, because then y'all are like, wipe her face. But again, take it
all up again. Yeah.
I was like,
oh.
It's just, but again, that I'm grateful for all opportunities because it still has been able to, the opportunity still pushed me, I think, and now will look different for whatever the next role has to have emotion, or I might have to do a retake of it.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Just keep doing what you're doing. We support you 1000%. Where can they find you on all social media sites?
Oh, yes. So Nikoi Harris on Facebook. So that's Tecoya. And then my Instagram is my first and middle name. So it's Tecoya, at Tecoya Michelle. Michelle with 2 L's.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to get out of here for now. Remember, respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.